Well, so now we have a chance to hear from a couple of our students because easy, stay calm out there. Every year, the class picks two of their own to come up and say a couple of words. So we're going to hear from Masa, Dikanovic, and from Leland, Lazarus. So let me begin with Masa. As she processes up here, let me just tell you that she is a MALD student. She's a citizen of beautiful Montenegro, which has, in case you don't know this fun fact, the largest single vineyard in the world is in Montenegro. She has studied human rights here. She's been a co-leader of our human rights project, our leadership programs. Her summer internship, I think quite characteristically, was with the United Nations in New York. And she has aspirations of continuing in this world of human rights. She is focused on genocide and many other of the deep challenges I spoke about moments ago. And by the way, she was Phi Beta Kappa summa cum laude of Wellesley College. Give it up for Masa.
Thank you so much, Dean Stavridis. Distinguished guests, faculty, staff, families, friends, fans. Welcome to one of the rare events at Fletcher that did not come with approximately 200 pages of assigned reading or the promise of free food. Just last August, I was sitting in the first class of my last year as a graduate student in a course called Design and Monitoring of Peacebuilding and Development, fondly known as DM. By way of introduction, the professor had us share a single sentence that consisted of 3 elements: who we are, what we want to do, and most importantly, why. Being the successful adults that we are, most of us managed to do fairly well with our names. The second and third parts, though, proved less straightforward, despite the fact that the majority of us left actual paying jobs to be here. It seems like a very literal interpretation of Steve Jobs' famous advice to stay hungry and foolish. So what made all of us choose Fletcher? The MALDs, the MIBs, the LLMs, the MA and Maha students, and the graduating PhDs are champions of grit, who are probably telling their great-grandchildren today how every year was worth it. To me, a part of the answer to this complex question became clear on that August morning. Like my DM classmates, the class of 2016 hails from all over the world, places as exotic as Japan, India, Jamaica, Syria, Ghana, Brazil, New Jersey, and my home country of Montenegro, winner of the unofficial Smallest Country with the Tallest People award. Our cohort's academic and professional backgrounds are equally diverse. We are former lawyers, military personnel, teachers, consultants, aid workers, dancers, and not 1 but 2 mathematicians. Well, who we are and what we want to do in life is as different as the remarkable spectrum of talent and experience we represent. One element of that DM introduction was the same across the board. Each and every one of us, even in those early days, was striving for some type of change. By nature of the process, change is always somewhat uncomfortable. Or in the words of my first and last fitness instructor, if it doesn't hurt, you're doing it wrong. Change requires leaving your zone of familiarity, your frame of reference, perhaps replacing the soothing sounds of your language or the unwritten rules of your culture with an entirely new, unpredictable context. Other times, change comes to your own backyard, asking you to adapt, accept, assist, and accommodate. Occasionally, it requires moving to Medford and meeting friends who will help you achieve success, however you choose to define it. My friends Kate and Hector, for example, will believe in you more than your mom and your first grade teacher combined, encouraging you to do your absolute best and never allowing a lack of confidence to be your obstacle to opportunity. Others, like Rabia, will look you in the eye and tell you in the most supportive voice you can imagine, and I quote, "It looks to me like maybe you don't really know what you're doing." Right before offering you a drink and her unconditional support in that order. Other friends will be right there in the trenches with you. My friendship with Andrew and Mike, for example, has survived cumulatively a DM group project, an international humanitarian law presentation, membership in Image, which is the initiative on mass atrocities and genocide, countless debates on human rights and human wrongs, and last but not least, an econometric study group, very appropriately named Team Dummy Variables. Congratulations again on your award, Professor Schaffner. Your remarkable success with students who would rather read about genocide than take a partial derivative merits a Medal of Courage in addition to the well-deserved teaching prize. There are countless other examples of ingenuity, support, and sheer loyalty that have made our Fletcher family so notoriously successful. We proofread each other's essays while juggling our own. We organize exceptional conferences on gender, the Arctic, and everything in between. We run clubs and put together cultural evenings and travel videos featuring the best dance moves since Gangnam Style. We wear red pants on Thursdays. We take serious issues with tireless dedication, but aren't afraid to let loose. We disagree online and have difficult conversations in person. We lend or give each other cups, books, travel advice, muffin tins, feather boas, life wisdom, professional contacts, and couches to sleep on. We partake in a culture so unique it has its own currency consisting of coffee, cookies, and hugs, which happens to be the exhaustive list of the essential things in life. We are seldom short of opportunities to celebrate success, but are also there for each other through setbacks, challenges, failures, loss, and grief. Each of us has been changed for being here, and if there's one goal we all share, it's that we will use those lessons and our passion to make this world a bit more Fletcher-like, just as soon as we get jobs. You know what? It's a new world. Internships are great too. As class of 2016, we have also left a mark on Fletcher's legacy and will continue to do so long after we leave Hall of Flags and Ginn Library to fresh new faces. Side note, those faces should by no means belong to undergrads. Through its exceptional faculty, staff, and curriculum, this school has also left an indelible mark on us. As a cognitive and linguistic sciences major in college, I've always been interested in the different forces that shape our perceptions of the world, simultaneously giving us tools to create conflict and to resolve it. There is no better place than Fletcher to grasp the interdisciplinary nature of international affairs. We attack one field's blind spots with the knowledge and tools of another. We tackle the problems of today with an eye to the future and question both what is there and what isn't. In this quest, we are forever indebted to our professors who taught us to think critically, speak persuasively, write effectively, all the while attempting to be the smallest bit as eloquent, brilliant, encouraging, and effortlessly witty as they are. We hope we made you proud, and please forgive us our capstone extensions. Finally, each and every one of us here owes a huge amount of gratitude to all of you who have traveled far and wide to see us in our glamorous, impeccably tailored graduation attire. Both you who are here today and those who are with us in our thoughts are the unsung heroes of Fletcher. You are our rocks, our cheerleaders, our scholarship benefactors, our harshest critics, and our greatest fans. Because of who you are and what you did, we are able to stand here today, smarter, prouder, more humble, less humble, but forever changed for the better. Congratulations to one and all, and here's to another new beginning. Thank you.
Let me just get the microphone down to a normal person's height here. I'm thinking if Montenegro has all these tall people, maybe I should move there. I might grow a couple of inches. It could be my strategy. What a marvelous, wonderful talk, Masa. It was lovely and really, I think, represented your classmates so very well. Well done. So now we're going to hear from Leland, who I met Leland on his first day here. We had a long chat. Leland speaks wonderful Mandarin. I speak Mandarin too, of course, in my dreams mostly. But Leland has been a superb student here. He has been at every level a superb performer on the student council. He's been the president of the China Studies Society. In between his first and second year, he went to the State Department in Washington, which makes eminent good sense because he's been selected as a Thomas Pickering Fellow, which means he will become a Foreign Service Officer of the United States of America. Proud of you, Leland. He is someone who, again, has been chosen by his classmates to represent them. He represents us all today. Leland, please join me here.
Oh, man. Dean Staritas, distinguished guests, faculty, friends, family, and the Fletcher class of 2016! Well, Fletcher, this is the moment of truth. And for many of us, this is the very last step in our academic journey. And I will miss this interesting cast of characters here at Fletcher. We've got the War Malds, the Peace Malds, the exclusive cool kids, the MIBs, the classy intellectuals, the PhDs and the LLMs, and the nerds, basically all of us. Time flies. And don't you wish you just want to stop time just for a second? Just kind of put Fletcher in a freeze frame. You know, over the past couple months, I've asked many of you what your greatest hope and greatest fear is about leaving Fletcher. Some have been straightforward. Greatest hope, find a job. Greatest fear, not find a job. But a lot of it had to do with time, or the lack thereof. We hope that we used our time wisely at Fletcher, took the right classes, and learned the right skills. But we're afraid that once we leave, we won't have enough time to keep in contact with the friends that we've made here. If we can just stop time. Modern technology hasn't given us a way to stop time, but we have become very efficient at speeding it up. How, you might ask? Well, we do it by packing our days with deadlines and problem sets and papers and classes, you name it. And then we put that with ISSP lunches and speaker series, probably just to get the free food because we're all broke as hell. And if your Fletcher experience has been anything like mine, some days you wake up, you blast through the day at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and before you know it, bam, it's 1 a.m., and you haven't even started your reading yet. Why do we allow time to have tyranny over our lives? Some people are motivated by different reasons. Some to prove it to our parents, Others because we're motivated by a burning cause. Maybe we're all just type A. Maybe we just want to build bridges, who knows? But I fear that if we continue to live from deadline to deadline, we might forget to live life between them. Time flies, but time flies because we are the ones that give it wings. And if we let it fly too fast, then we risk losing sight of it altogether. Last winter break, when I returned to New York, my 87-year-old grandma was in the hospital. And even though I wanted to be by her side, my dad had to practically pry me away from my computer every day to see her because I was so focused on finishing my capstone. The capstone deadline has come and gone, and so has she. My greatest fear is that when we do leave Fletcher Field today, that we'll get so caught up in professional development that we forget to prioritize the personal. First, we'll forget to attend a friend's wedding, then a class reunion, then a family member's promotion, maybe even the birth of your next child. We may even forget to do the very important things like voting in November, and the Americans in the crowd, please, please vote in November. You know, Ariana Huffington told us yesterday that in order to be an effective leader, we need to have time to recharge and take a break and focus on the internal. My fear is that we'll be so focused on tackling the world's problems, from terrorism, climate change, corruption, that we may forget to focus on the very people around us. After my grandma's passing, I realized that I needed to start controlling my time. Otherwise, time will control me. That I needed to start living between the deadlines. And so this semester, I decided to slow down, chill out, and make time for my friends. And in those instances, you have taught me so much more than I could have ever learned in a classroom. I've learned about the diversity of Afghanistan's tribes from Arslan, or the complexity of the Syrian crisis from Basma, how to rehabilitate LA gang members from Dave, the life of a Marine Corps pilot from Ryan, how math works from Mighty. These events happened outside of my packed schedule. They happened spontaneously. I might have shirked some of my academic responsibilities. I'm so sorry, Professor Khan. But I have learned so much from each and every one of you. You know, here at Fletcher, what we do is inextricably linked to who we are. And for that reason, we prioritize the academics and the professional, but we also prioritize the personal. We spend that same amount of time on the regression for econometrics, the paper for peace ops, but we also spend a lot of time on making sure that dance step is all right for culture nights, or that video is well edited for follies, or that ski trip is awesome. And maybe that is the key to slow down time, to be mindful of each moment, inject passion into every second, and prioritize the personal. So, as we leave today and we do enter into the real world, remember to make time for your friend's wedding. Make time for the class reunion. Make time for your friends. Make time for your family, because time keeps ticking away. Free yourself from the tyranny of time. So as we go out, let's live life between the deadlines, and Fletcher, let's make every moment count.
Well, in 30 years, when Ambassador Leland Lazarus returns, we'll ask him how he did on living between those deadlines.